Welcome back. You're now tuned into the other side of sports. I'm your host, Laws in the building. We got my man Aaron rocking out, my good co-host in the building. We finally here at the playoffs. Got the playoffs. We're gonna talk about it. Got a lot of stuff to kind of jump into this podcast. Of course, there were a lot of coach firings. I think we was looking at the Joe Judge Joe, and I had my guns cocked and ready to slander, and they went ahead and reversed the judgment and got him up out of there. Was this the people, Aaron, or was this
Oh, they
just?
got him out? He gone?
Yeah, dog. He got fired, dog.
Oh, the uproar with the swell was too crazy then.
Dog.
They
I
tried to keep
mean,
him. They tried to keep him.
they tried to keep him, dog. It's a new day, young. 15 years ago, it would have been.
No
It
social
might have
media.
just.
They could have got it
No,
done. They could have
they
got it
could have,
done.
dog. And that's the thing, like,
Hold on, when was this? Oh,
dog, within minutes, dog.
oh,
It's just us starting a podcast. I mean, right on time for us.
get him out of
'Cause
here.
we gonna talk about it because
Get him out of here.
it's a new day. Before it was like you could control the media to a certain extent, but now you got podcasts, it's just a lot of different voices, and when the people are upset and outraged, that it's just a lot louder than it was before, though. Was before. So I mean, we're gonna talk about it. But for starters, we got a question of the day. The question, what's up, Chim? What's good? It is a clown show. We going to go all the way into them waters, them deep waters, in our show at some point. But for starters, I saw somebody send me this video, and I watched it, and I thought it would be good for us to kind of talk about and get into it, because we talk a lot of different topics. It's not always all the time sports. We talk relationships. We do a lot of offhanded stuff. And I saw this, and I was like, okay, we equal opportunists out here. We not, but I'm gonna play the clip. I'll let you see it, Aaron, and then we can wrap.
What about the black dating app called Black? Oh, it's funny. I never used that one, bro. But hey, man.
I mean, hey, bro, if you want to date a bunch of Shaniquas, go for it, man.
LaQuisha.
Yeah, like me and Fresh aren't really down with the brown like that.
Man.
We ain't night riders.
Nah,
So
bro, I'm good.
Sometimes if they're red bone, but like in general, me and Fresh don't dabble in the dark, if you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
Okay, so last one, guys.
Final round.
Now we're not going to mention names for certain reasons.
So this is a clip taken from the Fresh and Fit podcast. It's a podcast that's, I would say, as of late, garnered a lot of steam. They started. I want to say they're in Miami, but they were able to like kind of garner a lot of attention. They had Kevin
How?
Samuels on there.
There it is. That's how they garnered attention.
They got Kevin Samuels on there. They had some video clips with him in the joint that went viral and brought a lot of attention, and then started to pick up. Aaron, can I just go in, or you want to start?
You got it.
Dog, these Bamas is corny, bro.
Fact.
Like and I'm not saying it just to try to slander them, because so two things. One, whenever you behind the mic, right, and you're in a position where you have to open your mouth and talk, right? Even me, I gotta be careful, because sometimes you can say the wrong thing, even though it may not have no malice behind it or whatever. But if you talk long enough, something stupid is gonna come out your mouth. And I mean, frankly, this jump was just stupid. And like, these are corn type. To me, this is just what it come off to me. Corny type Bammers who ain't getting no love. They came up a little bit, and now they getting shine, and they just feel empowered or in a position where they can just talk however they want to talk, because now they got, status and money. And, of course, for a man, when you have status and money, then you get pick of the litter of who you want to date, who what kind of situations you get into. But when you're a cornball and you don't get no youngins, and you know what I'm saying, you in the gym trying to get Buff Bagwell so you can get youngins to look at you, you can't make statements like this. So the jump was corny to me. What are your thoughts, Aaron?
So I got to go in a direction that people not going to like, but it is what it is. Neither one of these Bama's are from the U.S. And it's kind of funny. Like, we had these discussions about how we get viewed and how we treat people here. And we say, hey, if you never been outside this country, like y'all do all this traveling, like it's crazy if you see how other people like view and discuss not just women, but a lot of times black women or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so like one of them is from Barbados, the other one is from like somewhere in Africa somewhere. And a lot of times like they'll benefit from a lot of the things that black Americans have been through and take advantage of a lot of the opportunities, but they don't rock with black people like that. Not American black people. And you see them mocking the Shaniquas and it's just
Bama's
they
don't
don't
even
mess
talk
with you
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah, Bama's don't even talk like that. So I just
and it's like you said, you got these cornballs who they get a platform and then a celebrity sends them like out of there, and all of a sudden their popularity climbs, and then they start making statements and feeling like they have some type of authority or some type of like they the forefront to speak for anybody.
dog squares with
Like
money, dog.
they
Squares with money.
cornballs. And then I've seen a couple of their episodes where like the one the lighter dude, like he gets like all riled up and putting women out of the show and cursing them
Yeah.
out like I'm not saying
So
I'm the most like
dog, but this is the thing. When black women talk about like men hating black women, this is the kind of Bama's they're pointing to.
right, and then we get blamed for it. Like it gets spread
Because
to
because
us.
it's a secret. You could tell with this Bama, it's a secret animosity. Because Bama's don't go out of their way to try to slander their own people, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just was distasteful. I know a couple weeks we were talking about Jake Paul, but like if we want to set it up, young, like this is a Bama, I will skedaddle his wig piece all over the ring if we want to do that. Because he can get the hands. We can set it up, get the gloves, make it all official, whatever. Like if we're gonna do the YouTube, get that Bama, dog. Cause I really don't like that.
Foreigners be cooning super heavy though.
You
People ain't gonna
caught
like it,
you.
but the foreigners be cooning heavy. And that's nothing but cooning.
That's cooning, dog. 101. And it's just it's terrible. You know, even stuff like that. I know a lot of people came and had stuff to say about it and stuff. And of course, it's like, oh, your mama's black and all that stuff. Scratch all that.
That's irrelevant. What color
It's
is mama?
irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Like you shouldn't be talking like that. Period.
You shouldn't feel comfortable enough to use your platform. Like you wouldn't say that about Jews. He wouldn't say that about gays. But they feel comfortable like going on there and saying that about black women. It's just the joint be crazy, dog. How these Bama's just they show up, they act like they part of the culture till they get to a point where they can separate themselves, and then that's exactly what they do.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But I saw the jump. I got a little. I was like these the type of cornball, and this is the thing behind the scenes. Like this is the content that like the people want to kind of push out there because it's destructive, though. It's destructive, and unfortunately, like they kind of, to me, like when you look at Kevin Samuels and you look at their content, like they on his coattails or whatever, and some people would lump their content in the same vein, but it's totally different because that's not like when I listen to Kevin Samuels or whatever, like
That's
his
never his
content
message.
that's not his message, and he's never really trying to like really open slander women or anything like that. That's not his objective. These Bamas are young. The statement was ignorant. It was flat out ignorant. And then they try to like come back and like clean it up with it's just preference and stuff like that. And come on, bro. Nobody buying that. Nobody's buying that. So Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is, dog. But yeah, maybe I'll send a tweet, see if that Bama trying to square up. And I know he left weight, so he be prime candidate to think he can see these hands and get get punished. Uh,
You got much better chance. I got my money on you over Jake Paul. You try to wreck Jake Paul.
Hey, Jake Paul, hey, dog.
Jake Paul gonna put you to sleep.
I would have.
But this little cornball Bama, you can knock him out.
Yeah, I knock him out, though. I did go back and watch the Jake Paul joke. Hey, that Bama was sleeping.
It's just like the time, like what you say.
Hold on, dog. I'm gonna have to go in there with a golf club swinging that Bama one time. So they say you don't get me, yeah. Oh man, I can't wait until the winter done, dog, so I can get out there. Joe Chimmer, you with me, bro? You with me? We out there hitting the links. Before we get into, the coach firings, though, did you see John Morant the other night?
Oh, the Bama's athleticism is off the charts. When you and Jeff gonna send me a formal apology about that draft class? But we still gotta wait 3 more years.
So look, I need
16 more games.
So two things. I was going back through the archives because I had to count up all the games for the days. I owe you at least 64 wings, though. At least 64. I done went through, Joe. I said the Washington football team, them Bama's would have a winning record or make the playoff. I was on crack cocaine, dog.
He took the bait, dog. He took the run con, dog.
Dog, I ain't picked them Bama's in none of the games, but how I'm gonna think they gonna go to 8-8 now? I was tripping, bro. Tripping. But nonetheless, yeah, lost that jump. Dog, the Bama Ja Morant, that Bama is unreal. Dog, look at this Bama, how high.
Avery Bradley shooting threes. Here's a lob for Morant. What a delivery and what a finish by Morant.
Dog, the Bama almost kissed the rim. Hold on, but this jump right here, this might be the most athletic play I've seen in the league in my lifetime, dog. On a basketball court, dog. You talk about like athleticism. Nah, I take that back. When J.R. Smith went baseline and 360 that was unreal. Or when he caught the jump like off the J.R. Smith got some of the meanest dunks in
game.
In game. Dog, I'm telling Bama sleep on the Bama because he played golf now. The Bama had bounce. But Morant, dog, this Bama's different, bro. Since Derrick Rose, I mean, shout out to Drew. Drew was like, what's his name? Had bounce too. Was kind of crazy. What's his name? Westbrook. And Westbrook athleticism was crazy too.
It wasn't like this. It wasn't like this.
Look at this block.
Avery Bradley with the deflection against Bang. Oh my God! What an incredible block!
My man, elbow, son.
Avery Bradley with the deflection against Bang. Oh my God! What an incredible block!
Aaron, when the last time a Bama got up like that? Even the LeBron, dog, whole half his body was on the top cylinder of the backboard, dog.
And he my size, though. He not 6'9", he not 6'10". Bama's 6'3", though. At the top of the square.
Bama might can jump on top of the basketball hoop. Like, he might can jump from the floor on top of the hoop. Dog, his athleticism is unreal. It's unreal.
How does Bama been the number one pick? Or you
without a doubt.
Zion? Oh, okay.
Without a doubt, dog. See, the thing is, at the time, so of course, you know, hindsight is 20/20, dog. You know, every time when you look back, you see how close the vehicle really is, dog. The mirrors don't do you justice. When you see the Bama at the time of the draft, he was a little like small frame. He was a look. I don't even like to use the words puny, but he was just like small frame. and Zion was looking like a grown man. So I
He
was
was
like,
overframed, though. That Bama was
yeah,
overweight even back then.
he was,
And that's
dog. But
exactly
I was
what I
like,
said during the draft evaluations, dog.
yeah,
That he would not
yeah.
last in the league, though.
Yeah, and up to this point, he hasn't, dog. Since he bust out his shoes, the Bama can't stay on the floor healthy. And
And he
I
bigger
mean,
now than he was when he got hurt.
yeah, he is, dog. Yeah, he fat.
Can he play DN or tight end?
He might have to translate sports because right now, Bama, he ain't played this whole year because he can't get the weight off. So I don't know, bro. But that
What
Bama
can you do
Jai
about the
is
situation? Yeah.
real. And then this
He's
what
a
takes it
winner
up
too.
enough. He's a winner, dog. He's come and made Memphis relevant. And that's hard to do. Then on top of that, I feel like the Memphis, like their organization and how they did their, the pieces that they brought in, like, dog, they didn't really do nothing spectacular to get their roster right. Like, to me, like they didn't do nothing spectacular. Their roster pretty much is the same, if not worse than last year. And yet he's made them relevant, dog. And then not only, Bama's can dunk, if you dunking on a sorry team, he dunking on the Lakers and LeBron James and all. Josh special, dog. Last Bama who was this special when you were it was undeniable and it just kind of took the league by storm. To my recollection was Derrick Rose, though. Because when Derrick Rose came out of college into the league, he was just explosive. He was just dunking on everything. He was flying through the air, just doing the craziest things athletically. To the point where, his knees just was like, bro, you got to chill out. And then he wouldn't listen. And, he had the knee surgeries after knee surgeries. Can Ja hold up at this rate? Will he be able to continue this?
I mean, I don't see why not, because the rest of his game is just going to improve because the athleticism is there, the leadership is there, the court vision is there. Like, he makes his teammates better. But as his jump shot gets better, he's just going to improve as a player.
Mm-hmm.
All of the hard stuff that it takes Bama's years and years to get to as far as that leadership and that court vision and just making your players better. He came in the league and it seemed like automatically he had those intangibles. So when that shot gets better, dog, if he was in another city,
it's already gotten better.
If he was in another city, he would already be considered a superstar. But he's kind of buried in Memphis, which is a small market team. So, I mean, I don't know if he's going to end up staying there. It's still early to kind of say that, but he's legit, though.
Oh, he's so legit. He's so legit. And if the campaign to get pieces around him has not started, those rumblings have not started, let us be the first to say, you got to get him some pieces. You need to trade and get him some real pieces beside him. A Bradley Beal, or I'm not trying to get rid of Bradley, but I'm just saying, like, you just need to get some legitimate pieces beside him. Because he's the best prospect in the league, in my opinion.
I got which comment there?
Luka?
Nah, Ball. The young Ball.
Ball is nice, dog. Ball is nice. But, dog, let's be honest. From an athleticism standpoint,
yeah, it's not even
Ball
close.
ain't this. Ball ain't Ja. But Ball is real, though. Trust me, he's a great young prospect. I'm not even diminishing what
and
his
he has more
abilities
size
are.
on him where he can play
He
more
got
positions.
size. He got a better shot. He can shoot better.
Yeah.
He can defend a little better. But from an athletic standpoint, who would you rather have, Ball or Ja?
I think
right now, you starting a
it's
franchise.
kind of hard to say because Ball is behind Ja by 2-3 years, so the development is just different. But just from a raw prospect, like both of them coming out at the same time, I'm taking Ball.
Damn, Ball 6'6", handles,
shot,
lanky, confidence, passing ability on 99. Ja do everything really well.
He does.
He's not the best shooter, but he shoots good enough. His shot has improved.
You wouldn't be hurt having to take either one of those, Bama.
You right.
You rather had him than Rui or who's the other Bama's they got? Denny or other Bama's that they be drafting over here.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, though. We just got to deal with it. Deal with what we got over here. On to some of these coach firings, though. It was a lot of firings. Black Monday. Why they call it Black Monday, though? Why everything negative got to be black?
You already know the drill.
Terrible, though. Denver, Vic Fangio out as the coach. Are you surprised by this?
I was
Is
surprised
this
by the hire.
expected?
He was like 64 when they hired him. I didn't really see what clearly Elway don't really know what he's doing over there. But
Not at all.
outside of getting paid in there, he hasn't really done anything that made sense.
Mhm.
So I didn't understand the hire in the first place, and it seems like they pretty much over. Because there were a lot of high expectations for Denver the last couple of years in that defense, and it was underwhelming both years. So I guess they figure they ready to go in another direction.
Yeah, I mean, Denver, they just been around, dog. Like, I mean, I think they have weapons on offense, and I thought they had flashes with Teddy Bridgewater in some moments, but just overall, it just looked to be stuck. Like the organization, the franchise. I mean, I know they had Drew Lock, and he just couldn't take that next step forward. How we always say it all the time. When your quarterback situation is not secure, is going to hold you back. Um, that's always priority number one to get that quarterback position locked up. And it just seems like that wasn't something they were able to do. So he's out. Then you had Matt Nagy out
He
of the
had to
head
go.
coach. He had to go, Aaron. And you had the GM Ryan Pace to go with him.
He should
So
have
it
went
was a 2-for-1.
4 or 5 years ago when he moved up to get Trubisky.
Dog, we talked about that move so many times. The Trubisky jump set him back, and he was still able to stay. They still got chance after chance. And I just think this was the end of the road for both Nagy and Pace. But I mean, I think the Chicago Bears job is a desirable one, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, yeah, because they still had pieces. They should have been much better than they were this year, and they have a young quarterback that they just drafted that's showing athleticism. Looked like he was getting better as the year went on.
Mhm.
They fix up that O line, and then they could be right back in it in the next 2 years.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see what coaches they interview for
They
that
talking
that
about
job.
Flores and
Flores,
the boy out in Tampa, Leftwich.
I like Flores, dog. I mean, speaking of Flores was fired. This was I don't think anybody really had this or seen this coming.
Because
Flores
he
was
has a winning
fired,
record the last 2 years in Miami. They swept the Patriots this year, won the last 3 games.
winning record. Like, I mean, you look at his time there, 2 winning seasons back to back. They just missed the playoffs. I mean, they're in a tough division, dog. And I, I mean, they beat the Patriots. Who's beating the Patriots, dog? Other than Miami Dolphins as of late. And that wasn't enough because usually, you know how it used to be in those in that division. If you beat the Patriots, that just earned you equity and credit for a lifetime. But it wasn't enough. And
They
as
won
you can
8
see,
out of their last 9 games.
these are the coaches that got fired. And out of all of them, he had the best record. So, I mean, of course, he's coveted out here on the circuit right now. And if he goes to
We'll see if he gets
Chicago,
hired though, because everybody's saying, "Oh, that was egregious." You know how they placate to the black base. If he doesn't end up getting hired, then that says a completely different story.
that does.
Meanwhile, you got Ron still got his job. You know what I mean? Judge, who they had the media and the local fan base had to force him out because ownership wanted to keep him in. It's the stuff we be talking about, dog. It's why we got to do our own podcast.
No. Well, some good came out of this. Joe Judge, after a whole day of slandering, mind you, everybody was slandering these Bama's heavy all day long. They finally got him out of there. Aaron. What did it take?
The New York fan base uproar. The same. You remember when Washington hired Jim Fossil, and the word got out, and the fans were in such an uproar that they unhired Bama after they had hired him. It's kind of similar. It's like they tried to justify bringing him back when there was no justification. We told you in training camp when he pulled that stunt that he'd lost the locker room before the year started. He wasn't a good coach, and it was going to be over for the year. But no,
We
it's
told
just
you.
training camp. You know how they do. They want to argue everything we tell them instead of paying homage.
It's just training camp, man. Like, don't worry. Like, that's it. Dog, you can't be yelling at grown men. Bama's was retiring from the team.
Yeah.
Starting left tackles and guards was like, dog, I'm not dealing with this Bama. He tried a strong arm, and you can't do that to grown men, dog. I mean,
Not
we
going
see
for it.
they not going for it. And you trying to be all heavy-handed and yelling on Bama's because you on a high seat and think that's gonna get you anywhere. Dog, it was so bad that the team, players from the team, when asked if they wanted Joe Judge back, said no.
Openly, they was openly saying no.
Dog, it's reported that players didn't want him back.
He lost the locker room, and it was clear. Like first of all, you're a special teams coach. You're not some football guru genius who, you know what I mean? You weren't some old coordinator who had some system that was unstoppable. You are a special teams coordinator who shouldn't have gotten the job in the first place.
Dog, then the last game, he had his Bama's running QB sneaks. Not on the 1 yard line, Aaron.
On
Because you
third
know, dog,
and
on the
10,
1 yard line, okay, you on the 1 or you on the half yard and you trying to get a little space for your kicker, but you on the 5 yard line
because you don't
doing
have faith in
QB
the guys you
sneaks.
brought in. These are your guys. You brought the racists in who said only elite white people should have guns. Clearly, he's not elite. You running 3rd and 10. You running quarterback sneaks on your own 20. It's just like, no, these people create these messes and then use the messes as an excuse not to be successful. It's just ridiculous.
No, but despite all that, Aaron, the management was gonna bring this scrub ball Bama back.
The Giants have been trash for like 5 years, and they've been fine with it. It seemed like the ownership has been on the other stuff, though. Like they just been fine with trash. Daniel Jones has been trash. They've been fine with it, and so I mean, this is what you get when you draft bums. When you bring that Bama, the GM over, he got his collar or his shirt 3 buttons down, gold chain sitting out, taco meat sitting on his chest, talking about he know better than everybody else, and going to draft a bum that we said was going to be a bum. Like, stop. This is what you get when you empower these kind of people to make the football decisions
Dog, this is what you get every time.
every
And
time.
it's the thing, like we said it early on, and shout out to D, because usually D be on here and he'll, as a Giants fan, this Bama's tapped into everything Giants going on. And he was even able to say, like, I don't know about this hire. Like, I don't think it's a good one. And just like everything, we have our we pontificate, and then we give a prediction, and then when it come to fruition, then we come and talk our ish. We be like, hey, we told you. But this jump, I mean, they didn't need to wait 18 weeks to know that this dude was some sauce. They didn't have to wait 18 weeks, though. I don't know what they're gonna do with this roster though, because you got Saquon. What do you do with Saquon?
They talking about letting him go because he's not the same since the ACL tear.
Though honestly, I think, and granted, I'm not running a football team to be able to say this, but like they had a lot of hopes that I thought was just like fool's gold. Like they were just like, yeah, we're just gonna get our team back, and this is gonna happen, and this, and that. They probably would have benefited from just letting Saquon just really just get all the way 100% healthy. Because even when he came back, I felt like he was still like 65, 70%. And he was playing, trying to get healthy.
The
And
quarterback is a bum. It's the same situation here. Like, do you want to run it back one more time to see the losing one more time? Like, it's trash. Like, why do you have to see it again? But because of the way the owner has behaved in the past, people are going to force. You need what they say. You need what's the word? It start with a C, where you
confirmation.
continuity,
Oh,
basically.
continuity.
Like, it
Oh,
just
yeah, that's they love
they
that
love
word.
continuity. To see it one more time, one more time. Same with Jay. One more time, one more time. When you know a guy can't do it and it can't get done, move on. I don't care if
Yeah,
it's a
dog.
year. I don't care if it's 6 months. I don't care if it's 3 years.
No, 3
Once you
games,
know,
dog. Once you know, get them out of there.
move on.
Make the moves.
But that's not how, especially in the NFC East. It's a
You
lot of
see,
dinosaurs running the NFC East.
who make moves like that?
Jerry.
Bill.
Oh yeah, Bill Belichick could do it too.
How about I'm gonna cut a Bama 3 games in? We
Yeah,
don't
once
need
you
him.
see it doesn't, it's
That
not
work.
working. You just move on.
Yeah,
That's why they're able to retool so fast, or just get back, because they're constantly evaluating and they
yeah,
know what they're looking at. And once they realize, oh, this is not gonna work, time to do something
yeah.
else.
They
But
make a
everybody
move.
else just has to see it 3 and 4. You know what I mean? It's just Bama's getting old. They ain't got another 20, 30 years to wait on another Super Bowl down here. So the NFC
Dog.
East is gonna have to get younger at ownership. It's just they still have an old dinosaur way of thinking. I don't know if a couple people got to die off or what it has to be, but the philosophies are just so old.
D- Speaking of philosophies and old,
Kirk
Kirk
Cousins.
Cousins got another tandem fired, dog. Kirk Cousins got another coach and GM fired, dog. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And granted, I'm not even putting it all on Kirk because, we like to pick on Kirk because he was, former player here. But I'm
Loser.
just saying, he's a loser. Yes, facts. But Mike Zimmer has some blame, of course. He's definitely culpable in his own demise, per se. The loss to Detroit was egregious. And I watched that game to the bitter end, and I was thinking in my head, like, dog, you got to fire this coach. Because if you don't know that Jared Goff, his kryptonite is pressure, and you, instead of giving him pressure, you drop back your whole secondary, I'm just like, dog, you on hard drugs or your mind not right, and you need to be in an old folks' home, chilling somewhere, because you don't know, you're not tapped into football anymore. And Kirk Cousins, of course, he was able to. This dude is slippery, dog, because he got out of the COVID zone hit on a game that they had to win versus the Green Bay Packers. He got to sit at home, watch the Bama's take a L, and then basically skate off into the sunset, dog. Do you think he survives the next coach hiring and GM hiring?
Not if it's Flores. It all depends on who's coming. I mean, I don't know what that rest of that contract looks like, because if I'm not mistaken, they just re-upped him
Yeah, they on the books.
last year or something.
They on the
So
books.
they might be stuck with him. But if they're smart and they can get a young guy to come in and play for cheap, um, and basically have him compete with Kirk and make Kirk sit on the bench, um, to me that would make more sense than just or moving him. I don't know what flexibility does the GM have. Are you just going to tank this year, get a high pick? So go ahead and cut Kirk and take that 50 mil or whatever it is against the cap. It all depends on what the strategy is or what the
would you
plan
do?
is moving forward. I would cut him. I wouldn't cut him. I would trade him.
I wouldn't
Somebody would
cut
be
him.
dumb enough to take him.
Yeah, he got a
I'm
lot
taking the
of
cap hit in the first year because I'm cutting all the fat off the break. Be sorry one time instead of spreading it out, be mediocre and get, take 3-4 years to be 7-9, 6-10 and be
Yeah.
dummies like down here. You get rid of everything. You be bad like the Jaguars, get a top pick, get an elite player, and move forward.
No, but you know that those opportunities don't really come like to do it that way.
But I'm gonna say that's gonna be my energy.
Like Flores, he actually came in, and because of the pressure, and who knows, him and the GM might have been, because you know how they do, they might pick the GM versus the coach, and then the GM's like, well, it ain't gonna be me, so it's got to be you. If the owner is kind of leaving it out there, or just basically drops the lunch on the lunch table and be like, first come, first serve. Like, you know what I'm saying? One of them type of situations. So we don't know necessarily the dynamic that was in Miami that was going on that may have led to Flores being out.
And you
But
got to also understand they started out 1-7, and so like just to kind of piggyback off of what you said, when you build something and it doesn't work, they had a bunch of draft picks, like, and they were expecting to be good this year, building off of having 10 wins last year. So when you start off 1-7, the ownership is looking like, is it the pieces or is it the person handling the pieces? It's got to be somebody. You know what I mean? And then blame starts going back and forth. Things get passive aggressive. So this might have been a done deal at 1-7 to where the GM had written this Bama off at that point, and the 8 wins out of 9 games was basically irrelevant at that point because the relationship probably was so
already
far deteriorated. And then you could tell he didn't like Tua, where the GM drafted Tua anyway pretty high. So it's like when those kind of push and pulls happen, somebody has to go. It's just unfortunate that you got a black GM and a black head coach in this situation that you would want to root for because this doesn't really exist in the league. But then it also the same thing happens everywhere else. You know, and they couldn't figure out a way to make that work. And starting out 1-7 is egregious. Like,
it is egregious.
if
But
you're good enough
again,
to finish with 8 out of 9 wins, you can't start 1-7.
Unacceptable. But again, to rattle off 8 in a row, dog, that's not nothing to sneeze at. Like, I mean,
Fact.
granted,
you got to be an adult and be able, as new information comes in, you got to be able to adjust and pivot off of decisions you made 3 months ago when Bama's was 1-7. Like, that's part of being a professional and being good at your job. Is like, oh, there's new information, so there has to be an adjustment made.
yeah.
But apparently, when egos get involved, you know how it go.
Some say
They don't like each other. Go ahead.
And Price saying that there was a conflict potentially between the philosophies on how they want to like actually play. Because you know Flores is more defensive minded, and the team kind of took on that identity. And of course, you know everybody want to be slinging it around, throwing. But there's only one Aaron Rodgers. There's only one, you know, Tom Brady in the league. Like, you know, it ain't every team will want to sling it around. It just don't work that way.
And it's so hard to be a head coach and a play caller. Like, it's only a handful of those guys in the league. Like, Andy Reid does it. Sean McVay delegates everything else to other coaches and handles the offense. Like, Cal does the play calling. It's like a select few guys that can handle that level of responsibility and run a football team. And it's just a very rich point of view to, like, it's hard to get a head coach that one can garner the leadership in the locker room, run an NFL team, and win. And when you got a guy that can win, for you to feel like, oh, we need not just winning, but we want to win this kind of way, like, you got to be careful. It's a slippery slope because you could be like Washington searching for coaches for 10, 15, 20, 30 years and never end up finding that guy that can win consistently.
Well, word on the street is Stephen Ross is on back channels trying to holler at Jim Harbaugh to see if he can come coach his team. I mean,
didn't he get run out of San Fran?
Hasn't
he been underwhelming at Michigan?
Dog, relationships trump production.
So he denied saying that. You think he a liar? You think he lying? Flat out?
Flat out. He lying. What you mean? I think. Don't they all lie? What you mean?
Oh, you know I'm with you on that, but the Bama usually they lie behind the scenes. Like, he came out on the mic himself and said, "Nah, I'm not going to be the one to take Harbaugh from Michigan." So if he backpedaled off of that,
no, the fact that he even said that out loud tells you it's Swellington. He on Swellington Avenue, dog. I mean, well, yeah. I just, who knows? Van saying Harbaugh rumored to be talking about Vegas, but Vegas still got their coach.
That's because their season not over yet. Unless these Bama's win the Super Bowl, his ass out of there.
You think so?
He out of there.
Dog, what's up with Brandon Staley though? That Bama is the worst coach I ever seen in my life. You got arguably the Ja Morant of football on your team. His arm is ridiculous. Dog. That Bama looked
The
like
4th and 21
his-
touchdown, dog. The pass he threw that never was higher than neck high, dog, on a rope in between two other Bama, dog.
You talk about arm strength and power and accuracy,
Combined.
dog. You got Aaron Rodgers, you got Pat Mahomes,
And you got Justin
Justin
Herbert.
Herbert, dog.
That's the end
He
of the
number 3.
conversation right
That's
there.
it. Dog, it's throws that he made in that game that only he can make. And yet you fumbled the bag. So at the end of the game, they had the end of the game, the Sunday night game. They called a timeout. And all the players are saying that from the timeout, that's what caused them to run the ball again. And Brandon Staley came out in his press conference saying he called a timeout because he wanted to get his run defenders in there. But then these Bama's gave up 8 yards on the run. So I'm confused because you get defenders in to stop the run and then give up 8 yards on the run. I'm baffled by that. But nonetheless, they call a timeout and then the Raiders go for it again, and then they kick the field goal and win the game. If it would have ended in a tie, both teams would have went to the playoffs, and Tomlin and the Steelers would have been out. Did they play it the way they were supposed to play it? Like, I mean, does Brandon Staley need to be? They sitting at home.
No, he's completely mismanaged the team. I don't think you gotten much more than what you got from Anthony Lynn last year. Like,
no, it's the same thing.
Like, they squander away opportunity being up, thinking you're going get a bunch of victories, and then the way the team was playing with the momentum early in the year is just to lose that and to miss the playoffs completely. Especially when the Chiefs were down for the first half of the year. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Crazy. Van, y'all winning the Super Bowl, man? Listen, Raiders, one thing about that team, they gritty, dog. They fight to the bitter end.
That white boy, the DN,
yo,
that Bama's nasty.
He's tenacious. Dog, Crosby. But that's the thing. The Brandon Staley ain't make no adjustments to that. This Bama was
abusing the right terrorizing.
He was terrorizing the right tackle all night long. This Bama ain't do nothing to stop it.
And they said he didn't want to take away from Jared Cook coming off the edge when he had 4 catches for the whole game. So you go take his 4 catches and just let him terrorize the right tackle the whole game versus letting the Bama chip or block on a couple plays. It's a bunch of ridiculousness, dog. And they want to act like he's another boy genius. Like, get out of here.
Dog, and you see when Justin Herbert got time to throw, dog.
He made a bunch of good 4th down plays. He was 6 for 6 on 4th down with a touchdown, 120 yards. Like, the pressure unfazed, dog.
Unfazed.
Like, he's going to be the next one. Like, him and Mahomes going to own the league for the next 10 to 15 years, dog.
Well, he can't own it if your coach is an idiot.
They'll figure that part out. He might be out of there the next year, too. If he pulls this stunt again, like, they're going to have to get him out of there.
No, but Aaron, we just talked about it on the last segment. Once you've seen it, you already know.
But the difference there they got one. They're not going to fumble away his career for some lame, you know what I mean? Like, they already got the guy. Like, they're not going to fumble away Herbert's career on a lame coach. They're going to figure that part out. It's different here when you don't have a quarterback, or like with the Giants where you don't have a quarterback. So the dinosaurs just go over and over and over in the same cycle. It's not like, it's just completely different situation.
I'm just talking about from a coaching standpoint. Watching that game was so frustrating.
That's been their season, though, Harold. They've been doing that all season. Fumbling away victories. They should have 12 wins with that roster they had.
12 wins easily. And then they won some squeakers, but you can't. The game should, like, first of all, this is part of the problem. They let the Raiders mud them. Like, It's like they were fighting the entire time to get back in the game. And it's like, dog, you got the third best quarterback in the league. Why are you fighting from behind every game, dog? All these games.
Right, they got Joey Bosa. They got what's the safety from Florida State? Like they got pieces all over the field. They got Eckler. They refuse to run the ball or use him. It's a bunch of idiocy going on over there. It's like he's clueless.
No.
Give Bill Belichick this exact squad.
No.
Give him this exact squad and watch what happens.
No.
Give Kyle this squad.
Kyle would fry with it. Oh my.
It's so many coaches that you could just like, if you just hand them this situation with the roster that he has.
No, just flip flop. Just throw Herbert over on the Steelers.
No, if you give Tomlin this squad, no. 15 wins.
Easy, dog. I was baffled. I'm like, dog, you just gonna let Max Crosby just sack your man all night long?
Single-handedly terrorized the entire game plan.
Dog, after the first pressure where he almost caused him to fumble, I'd have been like, yeah, we gotta stop this, dog. Chip him all night. Just take him out of. He was the only Bama really generating real pressure for real.
Against the same opponent. And one-on-one every time.
It didn't make sense to me.
It was like Spurrier. You remember when Spurrier refused to make adjustments for Patrick Ramsey? Just let him, like you say, get his head skedaddle all over the field. No hot route, nothing, just go through with it.
Yeah, dog. Yeah, Herbert, dog. All Herbert got to say is like, I don't know about this team, young. I might want to be traded. Then they'll figure the coach out.
Oh yeah.
Because right now he got the glow. He don't even know it. The Bama's whole character mindset, everything monotone, just regular steady.
He seems aloof, but he get on that field and he
turned into a killer. Dog, he's official. He might be one of my favorite players in the league, dog. Even though the Bama got the face like he work at Home Depot in the back, dog. But that Bama real.
He looked
real.
like a liberal white woman. That's what he looked like. That's why I have him so
him
high.
And Mac Jones. Him and Mac Jones.
Bama looked just like a liberal white woman. That's why I was like, this face, I don't know, dog.
Yeah, I was skeptical of the face. I think I might even slander his face on the thing. Speaking of faces, dog, you do the 10-year challenge, John?
You know good and damn well I ain't do no 10-year challenge.
You ain't do the 10-year challenge, dog. You see me? See me 10 years ago, dog. 10 years ago to the day.
That's in the streets, Harold, with the hat on backwards.
You already know, dog. You already know. Look. You can't see the shirt, dog. That's a shooter's joke, though.
Oh,
that's a shooter's. You already know. We was out here, no mask and everything, dog. 10-year challenge. While we doing it, we done, dog. We done.
Get them out of here.
We done. All right. On to the games for this week. We in the playoffs. We got the playoff game set up. Let's see what we got here. We got the Las Vegas Raiders, dog. How much money do you think the Bama's had on that Chargers game, dog? Because apparently, if it would have ended in a tie, Vegas would have been out like a couple mil.
Damn.
So they needed that jump to go down the way it went down. I mean, honestly, the way I think about it, I'm a conspiracy theorist. It was only going to go down one way. A team was going to win. Vegas not taking no L's, dog. They was going to call a phantom penalty flag on the play. Bama's going to get 2 extra kicks. Whatever they got to do to make it go the way they wanted to go, it was going to happen. We got the Vegas Raiders at the Cincinnati Bengals. I think your man will be playing this game. Quarterback Burrow.
Oh, he playing?
I think so. Honestly, if he doesn't play, I don't think they have a chance versus the Raiders, honestly. It's 6.5.
I think that's steep, even if Burrow plays. I'm going to go ahead and take the Raiders to cover.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Raiders as well. 6.5 is high in a playoff game. And I mean, just from watching the game, I think the Raiders do have the formula to win. I think they do have the formula. Excuse me. So we both with the Raiders. Oh, Van says it's going to be cold. Does that impact the game?
I don't think Vegas necessarily slings it around like that anyway. I think they'll both lean on the running game. I don't know what the temperature is
Mm-hmm.
going to be, but I still think that 6.5 is steep.
Mm-hmm.
If this was Kirk Cousins playing in the cold, I feel differently. But I think Vegas going to cover the 6.5.
Bengals, they did their stadium is outdoors, right?
Yeah,
It's in the elements. That's an interesting nugget. 6.5 in a playoff game. Dog, I'm gonna go with the Raiders, though. I'm gonna go with the Raiders. So we unanimous on that one. New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills. Bills are favorite 4.5. Patriots coming off a loss to the Dolphins. Bills looking to. I mean, they beat the Patriots the last time they played. This will be the third time they face off this year. I think the Buffalo Bills won't sabotage themselves this game. I think it bodes well for them that it's in Buffalo and not in New England. I'm gonna go with Buffalo Bills to cover.
yeah,
I
I'm gonna
like
go
the
Bills
Bills in
too.
this one. Okay, unanimous. All right. Philadelphia Eagles at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers are favorite -8.5 at home. Eagles rested basically their entire team, the final game of the season. So everybody should be well rested. Tampa Bay lost a lot of receivers, but I think they'll have Mike Evans, and I think Chris Godwin will be available in this game. And Gronk. But not so sure about their running backs and if they'll have them back. I know one was out due to COVID. So I think Jones was out due to COVID. But who you rocking with?
Buccaneers.
Buccaneers minus the 8.5. I am going to have to. I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles in this one. I just think there's a lot. I just think that the Buccaneers have not been the Bucs that we know them to be as of late. And I just think that what's my man name for Philly, the quarterback?
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts will just present some issues for them defensively. So I got the Eagles. You got the Bucs. All right. San Francisco 49ers at the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are favored -3.5. San Francisco coming off the big comeback win. I know Dallas is a better team than the San Francisco 49ers.
But
I just don't know. I feel like it's a tale of two stories. Dak and them, they play a walk in the park their last game, basically against the second team for much of the game. And now they're coming in and playing San Francisco that's juiced up, that's excited from their win against the Rams, which is a good football team. I just think that they'll be fully prepared for what the Dallas will bring to the table. And I think we'll start that conversation around Dak Prescott and the Kirk Cousins whole conversation will come back. Shout out my man Earl. I know he didn't like that conversation at all, but I think it might be in play here. If you lose to the San Francisco 49ers, the criticism and the scrutiny is going to be heavy. I'm going to go with the 49ers.
I think Dallas's D line is going to destroy and terrorize Garoppolo, and he's an idiot when he starts getting pressure. He's probably going to give up 2,
But
maybe 3 idiot interceptions. So I'm gonna
but
take
that
Dallas to cover.
but that's the thing that I anticipate that this will be a San Francisco game where they really try to dictate the play through run game. And we all know, like, when it comes to like playoffs and winning playoff games, like when you just get pass happy, it's just not a formula for success in the playoffs. Like, unless you got the 3 of the top quarterbacks in the league, I mean, you could probably get away with it. But like, usually the playoff games are like very physical, tough, grinded out football games. And so I think that San Francisco, with just, their deployment of running backs, how they played throughout the season at times where they just really been run centered and focused and kind of dominated from a run standpoint. I don't know that the Cowboys will be ready for that type of physicality and play. Like, I think they expect the version of the San Francisco 49ers that they saw in this last week versus the Rams, which was, I mean, for all of 4 quarters, I mean, into I'll say the last 5 minutes, you saw Garoppolo really like throwing the football a lot because they were down and they had to. But I don't know, something smells of this game. I got the 49ers, you got the Cowboys, minus 3.5. Okay. Next game on the docket, Pittsburgh Steelers against the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are favored minus 12.5. So
Sheesh.
clearly nobody's giving the Steelers a chance at winning this football game at all.
I think Ben is so washed. There's no way they'll be able to keep up. Um, it's no way. Then if there's weather, which it's likely to be, it's almost. I'm inclined to take the Chiefs. I think it's going to be bad.
So this is the thing. I'm inclined to take the Chiefs right with you. But the only thing that's holding me back is that Mike Tomlin, dog, his football team is rarely not prepared to play these type of games. And just a season ago or a year ago, I feel like they were in a dogfight with the Kansas City Chiefs. So, I mean, these teams have familiarity with one another. I think Tomlin is good at preparing his football team to play a football game. Like you say, weather may be a factor in this one. And I could see the Pittsburgh Steelers losing, but not by 12.5 points, though. You're saying it's going to be 30-10.
I don't see how Pittsburgh is
31-10.
going to score enough. Let me pull up the forecast first. But Ben's old. He's not throwing the ball well. Um, it seems like all of their wins, they're barely squeaking out enough points. I just don't see it.
Well, I mean, the Chiefs defense is not tops in the league where you be
Doesn't
like,
have to be. When you playing against Ben, he's washed. He's washed.
actually, the Kansas City Chiefs defense this year has been good as of late, except for the fat last weekend. Or the weekend before that when they gave up a lot of points. But I mean, he is washed, but
See what the temperature going to be.
it's gonna be
39.
cold, though. It's cold.
So it's not
39 is cold.
miserable. 39 is cold, but it's not Green Bay. So I mean, I just maybe they don't win by 12.5, but I don't have faith in Pittsburgh and being able to put up enough points to keep up.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
Kansas City comes out and Mahomes is on this dumb stuff again, give up 2 early picks, or basically keeps them in the game to where they have to squeak it out late. That's one thing.
Mhm.
But if they come out with all cylinders going and they score a touchdown early, KC, it might be ugly. And they'll be
All
talking
right.
about firing Tomlin again. So you know
Oh
how
my
it goes.
goodness. Arizona Cardinals at the Los Angeles Rams. Cardinals are underdogs, 4.5 at the Rams. Now, I think the Rams are going. I think the Rams are going to win by double digits. I got the Rams minus the 4.5.
Give me the Cardinals.
Aaron is going with the Cards. Well, once I get these totals up, it's still games out here, dog.
Oh, Stafford be pissing me off. These
He
Bama's
do.
should be clearing away the dominant team to go ahead and win the Super Bowl, at least in the NFC, right behind Green Bay. But these Bama.
I mean, they make it interesting, bro. That's sports for you. You already know. Rui back, dog. He back.
All 6 points.
He only played I think he played like 12 or 17 minutes, something like that. He looked okay. He looked all right. Anything else I forgot today?
Nobody
Oh,
got fired down this way. Everybody's coming back. They asked him about his coordinators. He said, I'm not going to talk about that.
Why not?
Because he didn't have to. Like, it's an unreasonable question to ask when your defense is 27th in the league with 7 first-round picks.
It's time, dog. It's
Ron
time.
gotta go.
Ron Khan gotta go. I'm gonna start the tweet like I did for Scott Brooks. You don't want that. I got Scott Brooks out of here. We made a song about the Bama and everything. Got him out of here. It took longer than it should have. But Ron next. He next. We're gonna start that hashtag Ron Khan. And then, but follow us at OSS 980 at Other Side of Sports. Shout out to Jenna Garcia. Shout out to Lance J Radio, Free Agent Radio. Shout out to Kicking It with G-Man. Shout out to Where's Buffy podcast. Shout out to Sports Talk Tasha, everybody who rock with us heavy. My man Wes, Van, all the people who joined us today. Until next time, we out.